Hello geopolitics enthusiasts from around the world, welcome to the Geopolitics News channel, your news source. Today, we received confirmation from Russia that genetic analyses were conducted, validating the true identity of Prigozhin. This puts an end to the speculations that were circulating. Many individuals, including those in the international community, contemplated the potential involvement of President Putin or the Wagner Group, in collaboration with Russia, in this alleged attack or fabricated incident. This was due to the lack of sympathy towards Prigozhin. Thus, his demise might have been a result of this sentiment, or perhaps because he was covertly relocated to concealed positions within the African continent, not necessarily to continue living conventionally. This held strategic implications, granting him valuable invisibility from an international perspective. This newly confirmed information also supports the notion that the other 10 passengers who lost their lives included several fighters from the Wagner Group. Even the second-in-command, Tikhonov, was among them. Additionally, Russia confirmed that the two key figures of the Wagner Group, Tikhon and Prigozhin, participated in a meeting with the top officials of the Russian Ministry of Defense. This suggests connections between the Wagner Group, Prigozhin, and Putin, indicating that the accident occurred subsequently. It's worth recalling the statements of Putin's spokesperson, Peskov, who assured that this is a Western fabrication aimed at tarnishing Russia's image, including the claim that the attack was linked to Russia. Nevertheless, it's essential to note that Russia has expressed its commitment to the investigation, though there might be some skepticism about the genuine willingness to unveil the truth. There could be pre-existing knowledge within Russia that influenced the lack of urgency to uncover the facts. In this context, I can't help but speculate that, while Russia has declared its intention to investigate, this determination doesn't seem overly intense. Even though the relationships between the Wagner Group, Prigozhin, and Putin have been pointed out, Russia's will to disclose the complete truth appears limited. It's noteworthy that the Wagner Group is considerably smaller than it was in the past. Previously boasting nearly 75,000 fighters, the current estimate is around 25,000. They are dispersed across various locations, including Russian territory under the purview of the Ministry of Defense, as well as substantial contingents in areas like Belarus and a subset of 6,000 to 8,000 in various African locales. This geographical dispersion hampers their mobilization and action, for instance, in Niger. Therefore, coordinating such a widely scattered group with diminished leadership, following recent events that led to the seizure of military equipment, presents a formidable challenge. The prospect of the Wagner Group turning against Putin due to Prigozhin's death is a pertinent theme. In recent times, the Russian Legion in Ukraine, comprised of discontented Russians, called on the Wagner Group to join an uprising against Putin. However, this perspective seems unlikely, primarily due to the lack of mobilization and leadership. Even though all combatants in Ukraine have sworn loyalty under an agreement that encompasses respect for commanders and Putin himself, the impact of this fidelity in an insurgency scenario remains uncertain. In summary, the landscape remains intricate and multifaceted. New details emerge with Russia's confirmation of genetic analyses and the relationship between the Wagner Group, Prigozhin, and Putin. Nonetheless, Russia's genuine inclination to unearth the truth and the prospects of actions by the Wagner Group remain pivotal but uncertain components in this intricate puzzle. Another piece of noteworthy news involves the expulsion of foreign ambassadors from Niger. The French ambassador was the first to be expelled, but now the Nigerian government has also notified Germany, the United States, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast, granting them all a 48-hour deadline to withdraw their representatives from the country. This occurrence holds significant importance as it demonstrates an escalation in diplomatic and geopolitical tensions. In the specific case of France, the French representative in Niger announced that they would not comply with the departure order, underscoring a clear conflict of interests. It is evident that such a stance is fueling a dispute, likely because France is staunchly in favor of military intervention in Niger. This is unsurprising, as aside from immediate impact, such action could trigger a domino effect, influencing other nations. Many countries in the Sahel region possess neo-colonial relations characterized by unfavorable economic agreements and exploitation. For instance, Niger has historically maintained economically advantageous partnerships with France, particularly in the uranium trade. France seeks to uphold this economic dominance and thus aims to prevent other nations from following Niger's example. France appears to fear that this situation of instability and military intervention could spread to other nations, potentially undermining its economic control. In a bid to prevent this cascading effect, France is striving for the reinstatement of former President Bazoum and also desires the departure of General Tiani, both of which could align the government with French interests. It is conceivable that France is attempting to incite conflicts to justify more drastic actions, possibly with the intention of provoking justification for foreign intervention. Furthermore, it's important to remember that countries such as the United States, Germany, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria have been called upon to withdraw their ambassadors. Remarkably, within Africa, Benin, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria hold influential roles within the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which has committed to intervening in Niger if the demands for the restoration of President Bazoum and the departure of General Tiani are not met. Time is running out, with the 48-hour deadline ticking away, and this is likely to lead to more significant developments in the coming hours. The situation is tense, and the prospect of armed conflict seems more real than ever. Unconfirmed reports suggest that ECOWAS is mobilizing around 12,000 military personnel and military resources for intervention in Niger. Unfortunately, the likelihood of armed conflict appears increasingly imminent. Finally, today we had news of considerable relevance concerning China, which demonstrates concern not only for the expansion of its soft influence, encompassing its economic and cultural presence, but also for the bolstering of its military might. Recently, the country announced the unveiling of its new Gauss cannon, widely recognized as the most potent weapon thus far. This cannon is capable of launching projectiles weighing 124 kilograms at an extraordinary speed of 700 kilometers per hour, completing the entire sequence of operations in less than 5 seconds. This is a pivotal consideration, particularly in a scenario where China finds itself entangled in delicate conflicts. A notable example is the dispute in the South China Sea, where China is in confrontation with the Philippines and Vietnam, as well as countries such as the United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom. Tensions also persist regarding Taiwan, an island that has become an epicenter of geopolitical rivalries and economic interests from Western nations. Taiwan, in turn, invests in its defense and boasts its own anti-aircraft defense system known as the Silicon Shield. It's worth recalling that China, in addition to this recent Gauss cannon, is testing an advanced model, a superior version. This new iteration could reach an incredible speed of 3,600 kilometers per hour, which is 5 times faster than the current version. Furthermore, its range would extend to 100 kilometers. Apparently, the functioning of this technology relies on a series of coils along the barrel, generating an electromagnetic field that significantly enhances targeting precision, reduces wear, and intensifies projectile power. If you enjoyed the video, then go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.